What's going on? Elk, good to see you here already from the beginning once again. That's awesome. Thanks for being here, man. For anyone new watching, I'll just do a quick little intro. I'm James. I'm doing some design projects here. I'm a product designer and I like designing music related stuff, music devices, music instruments, those kinds of things. So if you like that, if that's what you're about, then this is the right place. And if you also like engineering and design and CAD and stuff, then you're in the right place. So I'm working on a device which is a drum machine, and I've just been showing this little image at the beginning of my streams just to give you an idea of the realm of devices that we're looking at. So something in the realm of a drum sequencer, drum looper, possibly with some pads, these kinds of things. So it's an electronic device, it's digital. It'll be running on some kind of Linux-based system on module. So it'll have software running inside it, and yeah, it will have probably a synth engine and a sampler engine, and you will be able to play this device like it is an instrument. So it should feel very intuitive, not like you're programming things, but like you're playing an instrument where you can get into a flow state and those kinds of things. Now, I'm mostly responsible for doing CAD. So I'm doing CAD software stuff, or CAD modeling, sorry, in SolidWorks. This is SolidWorks Connected, which is part of the SolidWorks for Makers subscription, I guess. It's like $10 a month, and you get full access to this very professional software that's used professionally in the industry, with some limitations which I haven't come across. Well, I haven't bumped into too many of the limitations yet, other than some little things like renaming features in the tree and stuff. But yeah, that's enough of an intro. Elk, good to see you. Not much, man. How are you today? I'm good, dude. Feeling good. Oh, you saw this already. I think yeah, we've already talked about it, but one of my videos, one of these streams, actually the first stream in this series, or maybe the first or the second or third or something, because I'm streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook, just to try to spread spread the reach a little bit and try to find some more audience to bring in. For whatever reason, only on Facebook, one of the videos I just saw was blocked in 247 regions. I was like, why? So I clicked into it. Sony Music Entertainment has copyright claimed the video, and I thought, that's weird. Why is that? And it says you used copyright music that they own, and it says you can go to the section where the music is used, which is in my little intro where I have this free stock footage that I've found online that's royalty free, and this music loop, which is a song that I wrote and have been playing for years personally by myself. And I think this little track, I actually recorded it with me and one other friend at my place on my computer, and I put some effects on it and that kind of thing. I think maybe I put it on my SoundCloud, like a longer version of it, and I've just got a 10-second loop of it running here. So somehow Sony thinks that music is theirs. So if somebody secretly signed a contract with a record deal with them, with my music, then bring on the royalties. But yeah, so that's what's been happening. Back on the project, I met with Yessa yesterday. Yessa is sort of the brainchild of, this project is the brainchild of Yessa. We talked a lot about how we should move forward, like with the ideation, all that kind of stuff. And it's I don't know. It's getting to a point where it's like starting to get a bit mentally taxing. But I think it's just because I don't fully understand the ideas that he has in his head. Like he's been thinking about this for years because he's used a lot of drum machines and stuff as well, and I haven't. Like I haven't used the Octatrack before. I mean, I've played around on it, but I don't have a good understanding of it. And he's a very technical guy. He's got a very good technical understanding, not only of the usability, but also of like the actual the software and stuff behind it, or maybe not so much the software, but like the signal flow and how different elements of software are going to interact with each other and what kind of systems are necessary. And sometimes when he explains his stuff to me, it sort of goes over my head. I need to hear it a bunch of times before it starts to sink in. So at the moment, I think what we're trying to do is he's going to try to better map it out in his head, but also like on a board that we share, so we can see like what are the different building blocks of this thing. Like obviously there's a sequencer and there are lots of other parts within the sequencer, and there are audio loops, and there are I mean the sequencer itself is kind of the core of the product, so there's a lot of parts that are critical for how the device is going to work, which it's all built around the way that the sequencer works. So I need to have a good understanding of that so that I can also collaborate with him on how the user interaction should be. Like what things does the user have control over? What things are happening behind the scenes? What things, like, I mean, it's hard to explain. Like, just say you have the concept of like of changing like the feel of a rhythm, like the swing or something. There's so many elements that come into that, like how should the swing change? What kind of swings are possible? Is it going to be set presets of swing? Is it going to be a dynamic scale? Should the user preset a type of swing? Should the swing be determined by how notes or beats are entered? Should the swing be able to change over time? Should it be automatically set? Should the system know when swing is appropriate or not? Like there's so many different things. It's just like you can think of one element and there's so many ways you can skin a cat, to say. And we need to make all of these decisions on like a huge plate of different features and different functionalities and stuff. So conceptually, it's a bit like a lot to think about at the moment. But yeah, we just got to take it one step at a time. Thankfully, why isn't this changing? Thankfully, CAD is a lot simpler, at least in my mind. And so this is kind of my break from trying to think about how complex the usability is going to be. But at the same time, the usability sort of determines what the physical device is going to look like. So I can only get so far in the CAD before we have to figure out like, okay, what exactly is needed? How many buttons are needed? How many knobs are needed? All those kinds of things. So yeah, I'm kind of just trying to get the CAD to a point where it's like a bunch of different stuff that I can edit and change. We've got a bunch of buttons in there that I can move around, and once it's all there, then I can look at it with Yes, and we can go, okay, we need some more buttons over here. Let's move those around. Let's make the whole device a little bit wider. Let's put some knobs in there and stuff. And that is the beauty of parametric modeling, that I can set this all up and we can change everything afterwards. If Yesa says, you know, the whole device needs to be like bigger, it needs to be wider, it needs to be 450 millimeters wide, then I'll just enter that and everything will hopefully update. Yeah, everything will update and then we'll have a wider device. So setting this all up so that we can make changes on the fly and we can adjust it to how it needs to be. Yeah. The last video I was playing around with switches, mechanical switches. And Elk, I don't know if you're still listening after that big spiel from me, but Elk was very helpful in figuring out what kind of switches we could try out. We found out that there was another device, the Polyend tracker, that is using these Kale switches. And actually, sure am. I'm glad that you're here, man. You're, you know, it makes such a huge difference having somebody that I'm actually talking to. It's so good that you're here. Yes, so also a friend of mine and colleague put together this little key switch testing rig. Is that properly on the screen? Yeah. And this has a bunch of these Kale switches, like the ones that we have in this CAD, but they're all different types. So different colored switches give you different feelings. So like you have tactile switches, linear switches, clicky switches. Sorry, I bet it feels weird to chat with yourself on camera. Yeah, I mean it does. I'm starting to get used to it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you heard me just give this whole spiel about what's going on, and I wasn't really talking directly to you then. I felt a little bit like I was ignoring you by giving this whole spiel, so I think maybe even sometimes I accidentally slip into this big monologue. So maybe it's okay. But yeah, so the switches, you have all different colors. It's important to frame the stream. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, if somebody watches this later and they're actually interested in what I'm doing, I need to give a bit of background on what's going on. But I also want to keep the engagement going because that keeps me entertained. And hopefully keeps you entertained. Yeah, so the different colored switches, you have like linear switches where you push it and it's the same amount of force the whole way when you push it. Then tactile switches are like you push it a little bit and you feel a bit of resistance, and then it sort of gets past a point and it clicks down. So you feel this satisfaction of like kind of getting beyond that point, and then it activates. That gives you a bit more tactile feedback. That's why they're called tactile. It gives you a bit more of a sense that you've achieved the press, you know. And then clicky is kind of like one step above that. Like it's the same thing. You have a tactile bump, and when you get past it, it actually makes a click sound. So it's like, which one of those is the right one to use for a drum machine? Who knows? Like we're sort of thinking linear makes a bit more sense because if you need to press something in time, like a tap tempo or something, probably you don't want the tactile bump to get in the way because it might slow down the action of pressing, and maybe you don't hit it exactly on time. Then there is the variation of force. So like how much force does it actually take to push the switch? So standard keyboard switches are like 50 gram force, which is close to 50 newtons. And you can get lighter ones. I think they can go down to like 25 grams, or they can go up to like 70 grams. So We're thinking a little bit on the lighter side is maybe nice, like 35 or 40. Just because it makes it feel a bit easier to get like an on-time click. But you don't want it to be so light that like they're flapping around and maybe getting damaged or something. So yeah. Lots of ways we could go with switches, but for now we'll just keep the kale ones in there, and no matter which one you choose, it basically looks the same. It's just going to have a different color switch here. And I can even I can add this as a configuration too. I think I showed some stuff with configurations last time. So I can make a derived configuration. So I can call it like, wait, what was this configuration called? Switch up. I can call it switch up maybe it's better to do it as a display state. Sorry. I could make a new display state here. So that's my default display state, and then I have a second display state where I can say like I can make this part low gloss red, and then it's like I've got a red switch. And in the default I would have to remove I broke it. I don't know what I did. Anyway, I'm gonna forget about that now. Yeah, whatever. I can't be bothered figuring that out. I can change the color. I'm not going to. Because I need to figure something out. Well, I'll pretend it never happened. The OCD is getting the better of me. I'm gonna do it. Switch up red. So I should be able to change the appearance of this. Oops. And I don't know why it's not letting me do that without changing it in the other configuration. So that's great. And I can't undo it. Wait, what? Edit display state. Maybe I can just change the color for the display state. No, I can't. doesn't this work? Okay, maybe this works. There we go. I don't know what I did wrong. But now you see, you got a brown one, a red one. I can flick between them. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but I also don't know if I can actually change that in the assembly. If I can change the display state of this, I think I can only change the configuration. Oh wait, I can go. Yeah, here we go. So there we go. So I can change that one to red while the other ones are brown. I just have to go into this little dialog box. You get the idea. Maybe for now I will change them to brown. Then it'll look less like I'm copying polyand. I mean, change them to red. Jesus. There is something going on in my brain. Okay, sweet. Red switches. Red goes faster. Now, what I was thinking about doing was, because last time I put in this off-the-shelf switch, and I know we talked a little bit about whether or not I should use off-the-shelf switches. I think in the end they're gonna have to be custom switches, because we're gonna want to put labels on them, like play, pause, those kinds of things. And we probably want to illuminate them as well. So we would do that by putting in a little LED on the PCB underneath the switch. There's a little hole there for it. And then the LED will shine up through this, and we'll make this cap some transparent material, some transparent plastic, so the light is lighting up the whole key. But we'll paint black, probably some kind of black paint or black coating over it, and then maybe like laser etch the label of the button. So we laser etch play into the surface, which means a laser will cut through the black coating on the top, and it'll leave behind the transparent material underneath it, and the light will shine through that, so that you'll see the text illuminated. That's going to be pretty custom, so yeah, I think in the end we have to have custom switches. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a custom switch. And it's going to be custom for this device. Sometimes when I make custom components, I'm like, should I make this in my sort of component library so I can use it on other products? But no, the height of the keys on this are going to need to be very specific to the height of the PCB, where the PCB is positioned. So yeah, they're very much going to be keys for this device and for this device only. That's okay. Worst case, for a prototype, we can 3D print them. If we do more, we can make a low quantity injection mold. Anyway, what's been going on with you, Elk? Have you been doing some more sound design stuff? I've seen the videos you've been putting up on YouTube, like this Zelda sound that you made on the Roland. Looked pretty dope. I've never played Zelda myself, but I like the vibes of the music. um, what am I doing? I think I want the key to be like 20 mil. Yeah, man, just doing some sound design work, actually working on replicating within reason that Arturia effects chain on my MDX. Arturia effects chain? Like from a plugin or something? Yeah, yesterday I was experimenting with Arturia's effects bundles. Ah, right. Sorry, I didn't see that. Oh no, that was part of the Zelda thing, right? I don't know. Maybe I just got distracted by the music. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on screen. I was using some granular reverb, pitch shifting, and lo-fi. Cool. I seriously think like Zelda was raw from the synth with no effects. Ah, okay, yeah, cool. By the way, just a side note. I've been talking about how to like copy elements like this so that like with their references to the original sketch that they came from. And I asked ChatGPT if it could make a macro for me to do it, to solve this problem I've been having in SolidWorks. And it gave me a macro, but I haven't figured out how to use it yet. So, um, so we'll see. I need to figure that out. I was thinking about doing it on the stream today, but I think it'll just be me banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how to write macros in Microsoft Visual Studio. So, I'll try that behind the scenes, and then hopefully I can show something cool. But yeah, about the Zelda thing, I've heard that ChatGPT can do some awesome stuff like that. Apparently, it's kicking ass in the medical field too. Oh, really? Yeah, I've seen ChatGPT used for like making making what am I trying to say? Making macros for Blender. Like you can type in there like make me a macro that will spawn 20 cubes in a circle around each other, and it just spits out this code. You copy it into Blender, and then there's 20 cubes there, and you're like, holy shit! It's very cool. Yeah, it's the future. Let's see how long it takes until ChatGPT is doing this for me. I want to go back to the Zelda thing though. Just need to make some humans still make sure humans still have income once it takes over. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just don't need income anymore. Maybe like the AI just looks after us. Like people often think that AI is going to be like evil and turn against us. But what reason would it have to do that? Like we as humans and like animals are like instinctually or evolutionarily programmed to survive and to like conquer all the other species and stuff. But an AI doesn't have evolutionary drivers, and it also doesn't really have desires. So like, why would an AI want to take over the world? Like, if it can see everything clearly as pure logic, it would just go like, yeah, I mean, I could take over the world, but why? It's not like it's going to feel good about doing it. It doesn't feel anything. And it wouldn't feel the need to take over. Depends on the training data set. Yeah, true. If it's just acting the way that humans act, then maybe. But I think if it gets beyond our intelligence level, then it's just gonna, then it would learn like, there's no reason for me to take over the world. I mean, if I can think of that, that's already at our intelligence level. So, I don't know. I wanted to go back to your Zelda thing. um, I wanted to ask, like, I wanted to say, I hope that you don't find it offensive in me saying this, but like, because I often said to you, like, I think your music would be perfect for video games, and I don't want it to sound like I'm saying like it's not good enough to be music on its own, that it needs to be like background music, because I got the feeling like, oh shit, what if he thinks that that's what I meant? But I just wanted to tell you, I don't think that. I just think that like you managed to create these sound, like with sound design and stuff, you create a vibe that's like very atmospheric and gives you the feeling like you're in some environment that is fitting to a movie or a video game or something like that. And yeah, I definitely think it would be like really cool vibes to hear some of your music in a video game. I think the stuff I make would be perfect for like menus in games or loading screens and such. Yeah, even beyond that, man. Like I'm thinking like just while you're out roaming some like crazy environment and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I guess the goal of what I was trying to say is that it's like a soundscape. Like it feels like it invokes a mental image of like a place, I guess. Without sounding too corny. um, okay, what am I doing here? That's kind of my vibe. I realized that I like music because of how it makes you feel, but in truth, I have nothing really to say through my music. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that a little bit myself. So I tend to gravitate towards more ephemeral, epic sounding atmospheres. Yeah, I would say I somewhat empathize with that because uh, I try to make music and like I like singing and stuff, but I'm not a fan of writing lyrics, and I always find that like writing lyrics ends up being super lame, or like it's hard to be really critical of it. But I love like writing music and hearing it, and it makes you like, I really get a sense of like there is some story there, but I don't know how to like verbalize the story. Like it's not like a literal story. It's just like, I don't know, you feel that it's like some story, but you don't want to define it as like a specific story, I guess. It's just like a vibe. So it's yeah. Yeah. Struggle with relying on patterns. What do you mean by patterns? Favorite time with my gear is when I'm live playing. I use expressive controllers. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the kind of sense of like you're really playing it like an instrument. Oh, shit, I didn't want to do that. I haven't tried to add automation to compose pieces indoors, so I feel like when I play live, there is actual expression. Yeah, I I think adding automation to things is like the step which makes things like takes things to the next level. Like for if you're recording or if you're producing a finished song, um, automation like takes it to the next level. But I myself also have never been really like um I've never really sat down and went like, okay, I'm gonna automate all the tracks because it feels weird doing it afterwards. And I'm like, what should I automate and whatever. Whereas when you're like playing with a sound or an instrument in the beginning, it's much easier to just start jamming with it and start trying things and just kind of record it in the moment. So I get what you mean there. But like, I do think automating stuff afterwards is like, gives you the chance to take it to a whole nother level. I just haven't figured it out yet myself. So yeah. Just to touch on what I'm actually doing here, I just removed all the dimensions that were locating these little switch holes or these little squares that represent the switches, and I just thought it would be better to rather define the center to center distance between them. I'm defining the gap between them, and I can also switch that. Like I can put in a center to center distance, like from here to here. But I can just keep that driven, so I can see what that distance is, or I can make this one driven and this one driving, and then I can reduce that. So I can make it like 24, and that'll give me a 4mm gap between the switches. At some point I will have an album out, but I really just love doing sound design. Music is secondary to the tone, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, there's whole genres for that, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole your stuff into this category, but there is like the noise category where people, I mean, the noise genre where people are just like creating noiseescapes. But I think the stuff that you make is a little bit more advanced than just noiseescapes. Not that I don't know what to say without pissing anybody off. Not that noiseescapes are bad, but I think you're doing a lot more than just noise. But I don't know, like it. I think that you can still make a progression without necessarily making patterns or like loops or chords and things. It's hard, I guess. I just have to find my style. I borrow a lot from synthwave, but I love darker experimental sounds. Yeah, I think for me it's just like I like the things to evolve and for it to become to feel like a story that's like you're traveling through the story somehow, I guess. Okay, PCB top and PCB right. It's hard, I guess. Wait. Oh, sorry, I already read that. Now, do I draw the switch in here? Probably. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm gonna show my right sketch for the reference, and I'm gonna draw on the PCB right. I'm gonna copy that, turn that off, and I'm gonna start making things equal. Motherfucker. By the way, tomorrow is well, not just tomorrow, but this week is Super Booth, which is, I don't know if you know of it, Elk, being from the States, but it's like, it's kind of like NAM in Berlin, but it's all like synth stuff. Well, not all, but it's mostly synth stuff. A lot of Eurorack. Like a lot of Eurorack. And I usually watch it once it's done. Yeah, so I'm lucky enough that I can't afford my gas. I feel that. I'm lucky enough that work were willing to pay for us to go, because we kind of treat it like research. Even though I'm working on speakers, it's not really anything to do with this kind of stuff. But yeah, they were like, go for it. Check out all the cool UX stuff there. So we're gonna go there tomorrow and check it all out. It should be pretty nice. Good excuse to get out of the office and go and check out some gear. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's actually a company from Melbourne. I think they're called like Melbourne Audio or something. I can't remember the name, but they have this device called Nina, and it's like a analog synth. Wait a sec, I'll bring it up. Melbourne Audio Nina, is it? Melbourne Audio? Melbourne Instruments. Yeah, here we go, check this out. That's the motorized one, yeah, that's right. Yo, Architect. Thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Oh, man or person. Thanks for joining. Hey, nice to have you here. Oh, cool. I see your display picture is something synth related. Oh, you're at Superbooth. I was just talking about Superbooth. Who's we? GSG Live. Golden Shrimp Guild. Let's check it out. What do I search? I shared your stream with Golden Shrimps. Oh, dope. Nice. Thanks, man. Oh, and thanks for checking it out. Right, you were just telling me about, yeah. My apologies for being so clueless about about what's going on. Hang on, let me do some research. I want to look up the Superbooth website. But yeah, I'll be at Superbooth tomorrow, so I'll definitely come and say hi. And then I can find out some more. You guys have a booth there, you said, right? GSG Live. Sweet. Global Electronic Livestream Movement. Awesome. Definitely interested to come and talk. We share skills and knowledge, stream live to the internet through weekend-long non-stop events. Awesome. Oh, it sounds super interesting, man. Yeah, definitely keen to come say hi. CSG is a great group. I've been in and out of the server over the last couple of years. Sweet. Oh, that sounds awesome. You'll have to forgive me, like my I'm not like a huge synth head. So like I'm kind of new to the whole world. Um I'm more of a design head. But I love music tech stuff, so yeah. Um but no, that sounds sick. I'm definitely gonna come check it out. I am both. Oh, that's awesome. Um yeah, I was just saying I want to check out these guys as well because I'm from Melbourne, and I think I saw Nina if it was there last year maybe, but I never got a chance to speak to them. Design slash music, but clueless about anything else though. Yeah, I think I'm the same. But yeah, I want to check these guys out. And actually, this topic, what these guys have worked on, is something that I'm really passionate about. Is about solving is like when you have a, I'm gonna say digital device, even though I know this is technically not a digital device. But when you have digital devices where you have recall of presets and stuff, and you have a bunch of knobs, and the knobs stay where they're positioned, and you recall a different preset, and the knobs don't reflect the values of that new preset. I hate that. Like, there's such a disconnect between the hardware and the software and the sound. I think that's one of the reasons why people are so like reject digital gear, because there is like this weird disconnect. It feels like you don't have direct control over a device. So this I think is a really good solution for an analog, or for a device which has an analog signal path, where and you want it to have a kind of analog vibe, like they're motorized, so it'll adjust to where it should be. Another way of doing that, which I think is almost as nice, is like when you see like the, well, I think it's as nice when you see like the Ableton Push, and you have a strip of knobs above a display, and directly on the display you see the value of whatever that knob is controlling. So having control elements close to a display means that when you paginate or when you change presets or something, the display can update to show you what's happening on the knob, or what that knob is controlling. And also a nice thing to do like that is like LED indicator rings around knobs, so that if you paginate or if you change a preset or something, the LED indicator ring around the knob will adjust to be the way that it should be. Yes, like the last gen Nord leads. Nord lead. Is that that's a piano, right? Like a piano keyboard? I'm not super familiar with it. I wish more synths had encoders with LED rings. Yeah, me too. Am I looking at the right device here? Don't mind looking it up. Okay. um, there are a lot of nods. Yeah, true. But yeah, anyway, I'm really into this idea. I think that tackling this problem is super cool. I like the idea of doing it with displays, and that's actually what we're probably going to try to do on this device. Is um, we're going to have a big display on it, and most well, not most of it, but a decent amount of that display will be used just for labeling what the controls are around it are doing. Like in the Nord lead 3 is what I meant. Okay. Nord lead. Oh yeah, I wasn't very specific with numbering it, was I? I just wrote Nord lead. Ah, okay, yeah, the LED indicator rings. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very nice. Um, yeah, so the LED shows where the value is. I think that's very nice. I've seen like the problem that people have with this is that then you're using an encoder which is endless, so you don't feel when you get to the end of the turn or when you go back to the start of the turn because it keeps turning past that. But I've seen some devices or some concepts where people make like a motorized knob. Yo, what's up, Seppa? Welcome back. Thanks for joining again. Sepsa, sorry. um, yeah, I've seen some concepts where they have a motorized knob, and the point of the motor is to provide like force feedback. So you can actually feel like it'll give resistance when it gets to the end. So you can define like that it should turn 120 degrees, and then it'll feel like it doesn't turn anymore. It won't physically stop, but you'll feel like it could even have a click at the end. You can even make it feel like a clicking encoder where it's going like tick, 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 around, or you can make it like a spring encoder where like you turn it one way and let go and it springs back. Turn it the other way and let go and it springs back. Like you can put all these different haptics into a single knob. Imagine like um, imagine like you have one knob, right? And you can paginate, and when you so when you're in one page, that knob is assigned to like a filter resonance cutoff or something. So it's like a smooth rotation. And then in another page, that knob now has become like a shape selector for like uh, an oscillator shape. So you can choose like sine wave, square wave, triangle wave, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the haptics of the knob changed to like a click. So you can go like sine wave, triangle wave, square wave, and it like clicks and snaps to each one. But then when you go back to the other page, it's like a smooth rotation. Like that. That's what I want. Bro, I love your voice. My mood goes up just because of your voice. Thanks, man. I never was expecting somebody to say that, but I'm glad that I can bring your mood up. That's awesome. Man, that would be something. Lol. Actually, would love seeing that in action. Yeah, totally, man. Me too. Very nice to encounter a gear design stream. Got to do more prep and rest for tomorrow. Maybe see you at the booth. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks heaps for stopping by. For sure, I'll come check it out. Definitely interested. Um, yeah, I don't know who I'll be speaking to, but I can mention that somebody was in the stream. You don't have to say your name if you don't want, but I'll ask Elk. Maybe we can text or something. Yeah, that'd be sweet. All right, let me get back to work. This is me. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'll get in touch with Elk and we'll figure it out. But I'll definitely come find you tomorrow. Alrighty, I gotta make my switch. I'm just gonna make a very basic switch for now. What's going on with you, Sepsa? I hope my YouTube comments are working, by the way. I don't think anyone's watching on YouTube right now, though. But, yeah, I had a problem last time where the YouTube comments weren't coming through. But I think they should be now. I spoke to the guys from Restream. Hopefully they fixed it for me. Alright, so there would be some kind of stem that goes into this thing. Oops. I'll need to define this all properly at some point. Okay. Hey, Elk, would it be a huge hassle if I asked you to write a comment on YouTube and see if it comes through? I'm just trying to bait you into making comments. Thanks, dude. Yo, yeah, it works perfect. Thanks, him. Thanks, heaps, man. My words are starting to not work. Shows in Twitch chats. Yeah, it should transfer across. Like, there's like a Restream bot that should be like relaying everything from YouTube into Twitch and everything from Twitch into YouTube, if everything's working correctly. Okay, this button is gonna stick above the surface 2.5 mil because that's how high the travel is. So let's do that. Venus Theory was having issues with chat, but I think it's because he had some custom macro that broke? Yeah, I mean, everything breaks. Like, Restream is a paid service. You would think that it wouldn't break, but it still does. Like, a few days ago, it just disconnected my Facebook account. And they were like, yeah, we don't know what's happening. Facebook changed something and now it doesn't work. So, sorry. And then, like, 2 days later, they were like, okay, it's fixed now. It should work. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna make a button. Gonna get this. Gonna make a new version of it. Save as new. Save to this PC. And it can be called enclosure 4 because it's apart from the enclosure, kind of. And part 4. Yes. Then I can delete everything here. And it's going to break my equation, so I'll delete that. So I'm deleting everything but my skeleton sketch. Then turn on PCB top and PCB right. I'm gonna do, I don't know, I'll probably change this later, but I'm gonna make a very basic button right now just to mock it up. Extrude from here to here. Yeah, that should work. And then this is not really the method that I would normally use for this, but whatever. Oops. Okay, it's like a little cap. And then, yeah, I need to draw in the stems and stuff properly. But I need to do that on my actual on my skeleton model for the switch, which I can't be bothered doing right now. So I'm just gonna fake it. Let's see how close I get to guessing the size of these pins. Boom. Then extrude from here to here. Looks pretty weird, but something resembling a button. Beautiful. And it's not going to be aluminium. It's going to be some kind of plastic. I don't know what plastic. Maybe ABS, maybe Polypropylene, who knows? Let's make it black. Elk, what are your thoughts on what color this device should be? Do you think I should black it out? Or go like MacBook style? Make it raw aluminium. Silver? I kind of like the silver vibe. Oh, I didn't quite get the pins right. It was close. What the hell? Okay, now I need a hole. %of my gear is black. I have one white and a grey. So adding something with brushed metal would be cool. Yeah, I like the kind of anodized aluminium, like just raw anodized aluminium look. And the reason why is because when it gets scratched, you don't see it. Like it looks scratch proof. That's why, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why they make MacBooks that color, because it makes them appear like they never get damaged, like they last forever, because when they get scratched, you don't notice it. Maybe some colored accents. Good too. Let me make some buttonholes. Top holes. Top plate holes. Damn it. Man, I have my work cut out for me tomorrow, lol. I have a crap load of gear to put up for sale on Sweetwater. I'm dreading it. Well, just you need something for motivation. Just think about the money you get from that, how much more gear you can buy. Top plate holes. Lol, nah. How much gear I can pay off? Okay, so you already bought the gear. Makes it a little bit tougher. So there's a sense of urgency. What kind of gear are you selling? Maybe I can advertise it to the 3 people watching. Or the 2 people other than you. Once I'm back squared up, I'll 100% use Sweetwater for selling. They will give you 100% of your proceeds in a gift card to use for new gear. Be easy just to post a photo. Maybe you can post links. I guess you don't have the links yet because you haven't posted it. It's like 7.5 for straight sales. Oh, okay, so you're better off getting like a store credit. Makes sense. Why not just sell it on, I don't know, like Craigslist or something? I've never used Craigslist. I just know that that's the thing in America. It's a gamble? How come? Meet a stranger somewhere to drop off. Is it that bad? I always forget, like, people have guns in America. Yes, lol. Yeah, that is a bit scary. Meet me at the Walmart parking lot. Been on the bad end of a firearm a few times. Oof. Don't envy you for that. That sounds rough. I've referenced this button all wrong. I need to do it again. What, when you say this, you've been on the bad end of a firearm, is that like military stuff or like actual crazy people? Can these keycaps be swapped out by the user? Yeah, like you can just pull it off. Whether or not another keycap will fit, I don't know. Both military and civilian side. Shit. Man, I don't want to be political, but America's got to sort that shit out. I'm well aware. I think the problem is like so many people that are so invested in the idea of having guns are like just are unwilling to consider that like it works in other places, you know. I don't want to say too much about it. I don't want people to watch this like 5 years from now and fucking go crazy at me. To fight a government that's already bending over the table for shareholder profits. Yeah, I guess money is a huge issue, hey? Yeah, same. Yeah, let's not get ourselves into trouble. Mm, this is the way that I'm mating these parts is all wrong. I don't want this to be like this. I'm just doing it temporarily. Temporarily. Which I keep saying with everything I've been doing, like, this is just temporary, I'm gonna fix this. But I will. I will fix it. Hey, JWP stream. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Where's my enclosure top? Check it out. Are you creating a 3D print build for a hardware company? No. This is like a personal project I'm working on with some friends and ex-colleagues that may or may not be sold in small quantities at some point in the future. The enclosure's like folded aluminium sheet metal. These buttons will probably be custom, so they'll probably be 3D printed for some prototypes, but maybe eventually we do some like injection molded plastic or something. Probably the prototypes will be 3D printed though. Check it out. We finally got buttons on the device. They're not going to be just 5 buttons here. It's just placeholders. So it's a mock-up. No, like I'm working on this is intended to be a functional prototype. So it'll be used for testing and stuff. We're gonna have a processor running inside it, like a Raspberry Pi or something, and this will be like a testing platform. So we'll have a bunch of buttons on here, a bunch of knobs, and all these kinds of things in a display. And then we're going to start testing some software and testing different types of interaction. So it's going to be a drum machine. So we've got to figure out how the sequencer is going to work and how you're going to control the sequencer and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of building a sort of a starting point, like roughly what the end product is going to be like. Make a working prototype, start playing around with it, see what things we want to change, if we want to add anything, remove anything. But I'm kind of aiming towards a first prototype now. This program runs DSP, or is it just a mock-up? It's just a 3D design program. Yeah, so I'm just doing the mechanical design. And then there's a couple of other guys working on this project. They'll make the PCB design and the firmware to run on the chip, and that will run all the DSP and everything. So it's a mock-up. I wouldn't call it a mock-up. I would say a mock-up is like something you make out of foam or something to test how big something is going to be. It's going to be a prototype, I would say. I guess you can call it a mock-up if you want. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call the stream a bit early today because yeah, I need to get some sleep. Got super booth tomorrow, so want to be ready for that. And I feel like I did something today. It's not too much of a waste of time. But yeah, next time, I don't know, maybe I'll fix up these buttons a little bit, or maybe I'll add in a knob just to do something a bit different. Maybe I'll come back to fixing the buttons. Put in some knobs. Could be a bit of fun. Probably the first time I've seen anyone doing audio related design / programming in this category. I do VST. Oh, sick. Yeah, I mean, it's the first for me as well. I actually wasn't sure which category to do it in, but yeah, hopefully there's some people floating around that are into this kind of stuff. There was someone else doing an audio driver, but I didn't get it. Yeah, software is like a bit beyond me anyway, so I wouldn't get it. I like hardware. I mean, I like hardware that runs software. I just don't know about all the programming and stuff. Even just trying to write a macro for this software was driving me a bit insane. There are some people that do Macs, but there is no final product. Like they never finish. Well, I mean, I hope I finish this. And Macs, you mean like Macs MSP or Macs for Live or something? What kind of VSTs do you do? Macs for Live, yeah. Sweet. I'm doing a channel strip. Okay, like a just like a mixing channel strip, like EQs and stuff like that, or sorry, I'm getting real tired. It's 11 p.m. here. 11:20. Yeah, there's a bunch of features that I want that I can't buy. Thanks for following, by the way, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll when I brush my teeth and stuff and get ready for bed, I'll come and check out your channel. Bunch of features that I want that I can't buy. Yeah, nice. That's you know, something that really drives me as well with designing things. It's like you get an idea of something that you want in your head. It's like, why doesn't anyone do that? And you're like, why don't I do that? My YouTube is down. Yeah, I can check out your Twitch or whatever if you got something on Twitch. I do a dev vlog, but I don't publish it. So you're not? Oh, I got the impression like you were streaming the design stuff. Anyway, I appreciate you following me, and I'll check out your socials if you got some. But yeah, I'm knackered, as they say. In the homeland. Diff. Hang? I don't know. Okay, I'm losing it. Have a good night. Okay. I'm a boomer. Sorry. I know, Def. All right. Cool. Well, I appreciate you joining in, and even though it was brief, and sorry to have to leave. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks, Sepsa, sorry. And thanks, Alk, as always, for being there from the very beginning and keeping me sane on this journey. But yeah, time to go to sleep, I think. So have a good night, guys. And anyone watching this later, yeah, feel free to like and subscribe or on whatever platform you're watching on, and ask any questions if you have any questions. And yeah, just join in next time. That's more than I could ever ask for. So appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.